Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. How are you today? I hope you are fine and I hope you are in good spirit. Welcome back to my English class with me Latifah Suryani. And for today's lesson, we're gonna be talking about the passive voice or the passive sentence. And I'm glad that I finally got ready for you. Some students say that understanding the passive voice or the passive sentence can be really confusing grammar structure in English. There are so many questions regarding with the passive sentence or passive voice, such as what is the point of passive sentence? Is it really important? I said yes. Understanding the passive sentence is really important. Because passive sentence not only used in formal speech, but also used in formal. So in this lesson, you will learn about what is the point of view of passive sentence. Why is it useful? And at the end of the lesson, you will learn how to practice the use of passive sentence. So don't go anywhere, stay with me in this entire lesson, keep focused and let's begin. Before we study about passive sentence, there is such a question. Why should you use the passive voice? Maybe you don't want to say who or what did the action. Or maybe you don't know who did the action. Or the object is the most important part of the sentence. So in this passive voice, it is not important or not known who or what is performing the action. I mean that the thing that the action is happening to, not the thing that is doing the action. So we can use passive sentence because we don't know who did the action. To understand the passive sentence, you should understand the active sentence. And you have already know about active sentence. Katya wrote the letter. This is an active sentence. And some sentence in English more complicated than this. And we start simply. Katya wrote the letter. As I said to you previously, when we study about passive sentence, so sometimes we don't know who did the action. Imagine that you find a letter on your table, but you don't know who wrote the letter. Or I mean that you probably guess who wrote the letter, but you don't know. So the solution is you can use passive sentence because you don't know who did the action. So the sentence become the letter was written by somebody or by someone. There are common examples that you can see the structure of passive sentence. These are the examples. The Harry Potter was written by J.K. Rowling. The movie Mulan is directed by Nicky Caro. Life Goes On has been sung by BTS. Take a look at this sentence. There is be verb, that is was, is, and has been, followed by past participle of verb 3. Maybe you think that past participle of verb 3 only used in perfect tenses. No, past participle of verb 3 not only used in perfect tenses, but also in passive sentence. So if you can see the sentence that use be verb followed by past participle, you know that this is passive sentence. Let's go back to the active sentence. Here, the active sentence. Katya wrote the letter. And the passive sentence is the letter was written by Katya. The object of the active sentence becomes the subject in the passive sentence. To make the object to be the new subject of the passive sentence, we need to change a few things of the sentence. So, are you ready to learn how to do that? Let's check this one out. There are 6 steps to turn the active sentence into passive sentence. Step 1. Identify the subject, the verb, and the object. Katya wrote the letter. Katya as the subject, wrote as the verb, and the letter as the object. Step 2. Move the object of the active sentence to become the new subject of the passive sentence. The active sentence is Katya wrote the letter as the object, so you can move as the new subject in the passive sentence. Step 3. Check the active sentence. What is the verb tense in the active sentence? It is really important because passive sentence exists across different tenses. So you must check the active sentence. What's the tense in active sentence to make your passive sentence is correct. Katya wrote the letter. Katya followed by verb 2, verb in the past form. So the tense is in simple past. Step 4. Conjugate the be verb. So there will be the same tense as the main verb. The tense here is in the past simple, so you can choose was or were depending on the new subject. The new subject is the letter, so you can choose was. So the sentence becomes the letter was. Step 5. Add the past participle of verb 3 of the main verb after the to be. Katya wrote the letter. It is in the simple past form. So you can think the main verb of this sentence, that is write. Write, wrote, written. So the past participle is written. Write. So the sentence becomes the letter was written. Step 6. You need to decide what to do with the subject in the active sentence. In passive sentence, you don't have to include the thing that doing the action. You can completely remove the former subject. Or maybe you can add at the end of the sentence with the word by. So the sentence becomes the letters was written by Katya. Let's look at some more examples together. The house was built in 1982. The flowers are being watered. The cake was being eaten. A movie has been watched. You can see this is the example of passive sentence. Take a look at the be verb and also the past participle. The be verb that is was, are being, was being, and has been. And the past participle are built, watered, eaten, and watched. You can also explain what or who did the action by adding by. The house was built by her father in 1982. The flowers are being watered by her son. The cake was being eaten by the children. A movie has been watched by him. Let's try a new sentence together. I want you to do this with me, please. Can you remember the 6 steps? Here are the step 1. Identify the subject, the verb, and the object. The active sentence is someone has stolen my bike. Someone as the subject, has stolen as the verb, and my bike as the object. Step 2. Make the object as the new subject. In the active sentence, someone has stolen my bike as the object, put in the beginning of the sentence to become the new subject. Step 3. Check the active sentence. What tense is used in active sentence? The active sentence is someone has stolen my bike, so you can think that the tense here is in the present perfect. Step 4. You need to conjugate the be verb so that it is the same tense in the active sentence. The active sentence is someone has stolen my bike. It is in the present perfect. So the sentence, the be verb will become my bike has been. Step 5. Add the main verb in the past participle form of verb 3. The active sentence is someone has stolen my bike. The main verb is in the past participle. So in the passive sentence also use past participle. So it will be the same. So the sentence become my bike has been stolen. Step 6. Decide, do you need to include the thing that did the action? Maybe it is not important, so you just leave it. But if you know a little bit more about who or what did the action, add with by. Someone has stolen my bike. My bike has been stolen by someone. So we can make such a conclusion about passive sentence. The passive sentence form always include the be verb and also the past participle. Be verb plus past participle. If you need to include the information about what or who did the action, use the word by. Now I've got more example that you have to practice with. This is the exercise. Number 1. The boy kicked the ball. Number 2. Satria ate the cake. Number 3. Aska is watching a football. Number 4. We have both the ticket. Let's try to practice the passive sentence together. Try to write down your answer in the comment under this video and make sure that you subscribe to PK TV channel. That's all for our lesson today. Thank you so much for your nice attention. I'll see you next time for another material. Take care. Goodbye for now. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.